Hello guys! Oh my god, it has been a while since I've been in the Unreal Engine. This is the new or latest Unreal Engine 5.6.0. All my previous videos have been in Unreal 5.2.1. They were university projects, I had to use that version. So I'm not back until September to start on year 2. But I've got a few things I wanted to teach myself, things that weren't required for the briefs, the game briefs that I had in my first year. The first year I made a first person exploration kind of game, and then I made a gauntlet runner. Second trimester I made a Space Invaders style game, a platformer in Unity, and an idle clicker in Unity. So what I want to teach myself is two, maybe three different things. This project is going to be learning about farming, so kind of harvesting seeds, planting the seeds, growing a plant, harvesting the crop, and repeat the process. Separate to that, I wanted to play around with a strategy game. I've been getting really heavy into Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, and something I wanted to also teach myself. So anyway, we're going to do a farming mechanic. So where to start? So basically, let's go into... So I don't know how much has changed between 5.2.1 and 5.6. I'm excited to see. I can't tell any differences other than these. I can't remember if they were there in 5.2.1. Right, so we're in the main content folder. So I'm going to make a new folder. So I don't have a HUD set up. This is a brand new project, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to create a I'm going to create this. I'm going to call this blueprint seed. So this will act as the collectible, and then what you would do is pick it up, it gets added to your collection, and then provided you have one and you press a button, you can plant that crop. So we'll be using raycasting to look where the player's looking and then spawn a plant at that location. So I don't have any assets in this game. I am also going to teach myself Blender as well. I've got loads of tutorials to follow. So I'm just going to use temporary blocks and cubes to represent the plant. So this is going to be what am I looking for? Let's just go for a sphere. Sorry. Oh. Yeah, we'll go for a sphere, and we'll just give that a... Oh wow, I don't have a lot of materials. We'll just give it a yellow colour, and then the scale we will reduce. Oh, can we not flatten it? I'll tell you what, let's not muck around, let's just make it 0.2, and then if I plonk a seed there, and then there it is. Okay. Right, so that is going to be the seed. So now what we need to do is, in the event graph, we need to... Oh, I need to get up the first person Why did I make a folder there? Oh, you know what? I'm just going to keep that there. No, it's going to bug me. It's going to bug me. First person blueprint seed. Delete. Yes. Okay, so we're going to call this pickups. Welcome to the stream. Okay, right, there it is. Right, so let's get up the first person character. Oh, that looks a little bit different. It feels more fluid. Having used 5.2.1 for like, you know, almost a year, that feels really, really fluid. Jesus. Okay, right, so we're in the first person character. So, and this is for the seed. So, what we want to do is we're going to need to have a collision. So we're going to add a collision sphere. And we want to make that the same size as that. That's good. Let's go 1.5. Okay, so the collision sphere is on there. Collision presets. Yep, okay. Right, so now what we want to do is add an event on component begin overlap, and then in the first person character we're going to have a variable. What is that? Target touch UI. What is that? iOS. Oh, I can't stand Apple. Okay. So we're going to add a variable. We're going to call this seed amount. And that's going to be an integer. And the default value is going to be 0. So when the player overlaps, right, so we're going to need to other actor is going to be and then do that. So you get that and you add 1. So basically when they overlap with the seed we're gonna add 1. So we're going to add 1 to the seed amount. We'll do a print string. Because I don't have a HUD at the minute, I'm going to do the print string, guys. So what that will do, it will show oh, what was the string? There was a. It's been a while since I've done it. Where you can add multiple bits to append. That was it. Right, so that would go in there. Oh no, wait, sorry. Right, let's disconnect. I'm so used to, because I've been hopping between Unity and something else, it's a little bit annoying. So basically that value, seed amount, no. Get the seed, add 1. It would be, surely it would be times. If we do 1 times seed collected, let's give that a test. Okay, so where is the seed? So if I walk over that, we should get something up. Ah, hold on. Collision. Because the overlap was blocked. Let's try that again. Okay, right, so okay, so we need to add a space in there. Try that again. There we go. Popping up. Seeds collected. Okay. And then what we want to do is, in the same instance, we want to destroy actor. So when the seed's collected, it will destroy itself. That's what that's doing there, guys. There we go. Nice and simple. So that handles picking up a seed, adding the seed to the variable of the player. So now that we've done that, what we want to do is we want to have something where we can, it will basically be a plant, and that plant will be the crop. So basically the player will they will look at a spot, and then if the player if the seed count is above 0, then when they press a button, they will spawn an actor, which will be the plant, and then you'll deduct 1 from the seed amount. So, and the way that I haven't looked up any tutorial for this, by the way, guys. This is all an idea I've had in my head, and I just wanted to see if it would work, basically. Because there's a lot of crafting open world games where farming mechanics are involved, and I just fancied learning it, really. Right, so we got the plant, the seed. This is winding me up a little bit, this whole central area. I don't know, I kind of want to get rid of it. It's just bugging me. I mean, yellow is my favourite colour, but it's a bit annoying. It's just in the way. Right, so now if I... Okay, yeah. Right, so we need to move down the player's start to there. That's better. There we go. If I actually just raise it, it looked a tiny bit stuck there. Yeah, that's better. Maybe it wasn't stuck, maybe it's just me. Shouldn't be stuck. No, that's dead center. There's a way we can snap that. Toggle whether object snap to surface. Huh. I like that, it says bad size. Okay. Boom, collect the seed. What is that? What the fuck is that? Dude, why am I getting 2 lines? That's weird. What is that? What's happening there? What is that? Why am I getting 2? What are those lines? What the hell? Right, we have the seed, so now what we need to do is create a blueprint for the plant. So I'm gonna do this as, I'm gonna call this crop, or no, actually call it plant. Okay, so this is gonna be VP. Oh my god, what am I going to call it? Just plant? I'm going to call it plant A. So, the way I was going to do this was kind of, I think I know how to do it. Right, so what we will do, we're going to use what we're going to do, we're going to add a cylinder. Way too big. Right, so that needs to go up. Why didn't that? I mean, that's on the surface right there. Okay, so that's going to be a plant. Dude, why do I... I literally have like no textures, no colours. I literally have nothing. Let's just make some. Let's just quickly make some. There we go. Okay, we have a tiny little stick. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to make that a bit smaller. I'm going to go 0.5. Oh, sorry, 0.05. There we go. It's a little bit small, isn't it? I might make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to go 0.4. Okay. Right, we have a stick. Shouldn't it be green? I feel it should be green, you know. Let's call this green. I'm going to call it stem. And then as the plant matures, it would then go brown. So you plant that, you get this green stick. And then oh God. Right, hold on a Alright, so this is, we're going to call this P1 for phase 1. And then we are going to copy and paste that. So P, oh my god. There we go. So P1's there, P2 is P2 is going to be taller, so if I go 0.8, move it up so it snaps, and what we can do, yeah, there we go, you can see it's got twice the height. And then what we're going to do is we are going to copy P3 and just call that branch, and then make that 0.2, and then rotate it, go 50. Oh god, I feel things have slightly changed around here. Where was the option to there we go, that's what we want. Right, so we're going to go 100. I feel that needs to come in just a little bit, so I'm just going to go 0.9 just to shrink it down so it's actually in the, if I just click off of there we go. Okay, so that's branch, and then what I'll do is I will hold Alt, I'll just dupe that one, and we're going to move it up, and then what we'll do is we'll just rotate it 180. So this location is going to be -110. There we go. So we have, where's the visibility? Hold on. They're children of PT, so why, when I turn that invisible, why are the branches? That's rather annoying. Parent socket. That's really strange. I don't understand. They're children of P2, so why when I toggle that? They're children. Why are they not getting turned invisible when the main one's getting turned off? Is there something in here maybe? That is very interesting, isn't it? Well, I mean, we have, if I, where's the visible? That's plant 1, plant 2, so phase 1, phase 2, and then phase 3 will basically be 3 times the normal height with more branches and the fruit on there. So the question is, why I need to query this. It doesn't make sense to me. Oh, okay. So basically, I've not done this before. It's something called propagate to children. So that will be in the coding part. Right. So now that we've got phase 2, we're going to copy phase 2. And we're going to call this P3 for phase 3. Is there any way that I can just move that down? Like I wanna order it so P1's above it. It's a bit of a pain in the arse doing that, but okay. Right, so P2 is 0.8, so goes up in 4, so we're going to have to make the next one 0.12. Interesting. Right, what I'll do is I'll temporarily take those off. We'll do 1.2 and we will move that up so it snaps, and then the branches can go on. So basically these are going to be blue. I'll need to hide those. There we go. So is that in the plant? Almost. So we're going to move that back to try 300. 290. Okay. We'll get rid of that one. And then we'll dupe that one. We'll bring it up. So it's gone 1, 2, 3. Flip it 180. Oh, I just need to disable. I need to disable my. Okay. Oh. So phase 1 is just a green stick. Phase 2 is green stick with sprouts. Phase 3, what I think I might do is add some leaf looking things. So this is really weird doing this, like, oh god, right. So we need to shrink that, so you just have to bear with me, guys. I'm essentially making a 3D model using cubes and cylinders. Not cubes, sorry. So this is a bit strange. But, you know, it's kind of doing the job. Let's go 3. It looks so weird. Oh god. Okay. Hold on. Oh, I did make the height different. Okay. Right, so now what I'm going to do is put it at 40. Let's try -100. Oh, whoops. And then if I just copy that and then do 180. There we go. We have a makeshift plant that we can't see underneath. Isn't there something where you can say make two-sided? Maybe I should have used a cube. Why is that not? Yeah, that's no good. Right, we need to get rid of those planes. Let's just do a cube. Okay. Copy that and move that up there. And then copy that and move that. There we go. 3 leaves. It's a temporary model, guys. Right, so now we need to add on the fruit. So I'm going to need to make a new material. So if I copy that and call this fruit, and then we'll just give it a peachy colour. Peach. Okay. So on P3 we're going to add a sphere. And That's too big. Let's go 3. And this is going to be fruit. Mate, I've got a plant. That's brilliant. And then if I click, where is it? Where is the visible? Okay. So visible, visible, visible. Okay, so we have 3 phases here. Okay, so we have 3-phase thing. Now what we need to do is what do we need to do, Mike? We need to go to the collision and say overlap all, and do the same for that as well. So everything, so basically the player will be able to walk through that, and we can just test that. That's smaller than I expected. Why have I got these 2 lines? I'm wondering if that's something to do with static mesh. I'm quite chuffed with that, you know. So when the player presses E, they will basically be able to harvest the fruit. So what we're going to do now is we're gonna go into the plant. I just need to check that I can walk through that. I think I could. Yeah, I can. Excellent. So we go through here, we pick up a seed. Okay. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to do a test. So in plant A, which is just the plant, we're gonna say okay, so we need to have 3 cycles. So beginning one, on event tick. Right, so we're gonna need okay, let's add a variable. We're gonna call this growth time, and make that a float, and then we'll get the growth time. We're gonna set growth time, and we're basically gonna, why did I event tick? No, that's wrong. I think we need to add it. There we go. Okay. Right, so we can see there. Okay, we can see there that it's adding to it. Okay. So on event tick, we're basically adding to the growth time. So, and what would be interesting as well, if I just remove that from the game, there's nothing there because the plant isn't in there. Okay, and then if I test that, okay. Right, so basically now what we can do, now that we've got the event tick adding to the growth time timer, we can now basically say, okay, event begin play. We're gonna say we're going to need to have a custom event that I think would get plugged into the event tick as well. So event begin play, we're going to say okay, so we're saying at the beginning of the game 2 and 3 are hidden. So then, yeah, there we go. So, okay. And then, so the event begin play, we do that. And then during event tick, okay, I think the way I can do this is we're going to have a custom event. The custom event will handle the displaying the visibility of the plant as it develops, and then what we'll do is we'll just plug that custom event into the event tick, because all that custom event will do is just basically show the visibility of the crop. So we're going to have a custom event here. And we're going to call this, what are we going to call this? Sorry, I just put my watch back on, guys. How's it been 1 hour already? Where does the time go? Okay, so custom event, let's call this growth cycle. It's a good name for it. Okay, so basically we're going to be checking how much time's passed, and then let me just think here, hold on, growth cycle. So if the growth cycle equals 10, let's just do 10 seconds. So if the growth cycle equals 10, and if that's true, then what we'll do is if it equals 10, what we'd need to do is get that, just get that. So if growth cycle equals 10, we will set that hidden. So if growth cycle equals 10, set that hidden, and then we will set that to show. So you plant it, you wait 10 seconds, it grows to phase 2, you wait another 10 seconds, it grows to phase 3. That's the plan here. So if that's false, actually if I just copy that, if that's false, equals 20, if that's true, then we get that. And what we do is we set 2 to hidden, set 3. Okay, so in the growth cycle, is the time 10? If it is, we hide phase 1, we show phase 2. And then if the growth cycle is 20, we hide 2, we show 3. Okay, and now we do that. That should work. So now we can watch our plant in action. So when that gets to 10, it should go to the next stage. And it didn't. Okay. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll say why didn't that work? Set phase 1 if true. Let's see what happens when it gets to 20. Why didn't that work? Let's see if that works. Just to test if it was the function. Oh, there we go. Okay. So if it's greater than 10, we do that. See what happens when it does that. Right, so at 10, it should go phase 2, and at 20, it should go to phase 3. Why is it? I think that's because okay, I think what I need oh my god. Tick growth cycle. Right, so I think I know why it wasn't going to phase. It's basically always going to have so if the growth time is above 10, don't begin play, hide those. If the growth time is 10. Why did it not work when I just wonder why that didn't work with the equals. Let's see if this works. Is it gonna work? Okay, we're hoping for phase 3. Excellent. That did the job. Fantastico. That did the job. So we now have a functioning thingy. Right, I need to have a can harvest question mark variable, and by default that's off. So we're gonna set. Oh, no. So if I cubes of the fruit, aren't they? No, fruit 1, fruit 2, fruit 3. Okay. Right, so we've got this. The growth cycle is working. The problem is if I put this boolean in here. Oh, actually, no, that'll be fine because. So the fruit fruit count yield amount. If I have the yield amount as an integer and there's 3 fruit, so if I have the yield amount as 3, get the yield amount, and then if I say branch and we're going to say, is the yield amount greater than 0? Okay. Right, so that's the condition. If the yield amount is greater than 0, we can harvest. So the yield amount by default is 3 because there's 3 fruits. Can harvest. And if I just do a print string, so can harvest crop, that is so we know that it's working. So if I press play, we watch our plant. When it gets to 10, it's going to go to phase 2 of the growth cycle. And then 20 seconds will be phase 3 and we'll be able to harvest. Ah, okay. Okay. Right, so if I just test that, phase 3 should happen. So 10 seconds. That's going to change to phase 2. And then 20 seconds will be phase 3. Boom! Okay. Right, so we're going to have a separate event. This is going to be called harvest. Right, so the condition for this harvest is the yield amount above 0. If true, Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the yield amount to 0. And then we're going to say, so if it's nearly equal to 20, then we're going to set the yield amount to 3. Harvest. Is the yield amount greater than 0? If it's true, we can harvest. Oh, dude, I haven't plugged that in. Right. Right, so basically what we're expecting when the plant goes to phase 3, we should be able to harvest it, and that should stay printed on the screen. So what we should get is we'll get the time ticking as well as can harvest. There we go! Look at that. Excellent. Okay. Right, so harvest. Is the yield amount greater than 0? Yes, because at the moment it's set to 0. And the reason why we're not seeing this is getting called all the time because it's the custom event's plugged into event tick. So essentially the harvest will only start saying you can harvest it when we've added 3 to it from phase 3's growth cycle. So that works quite nicely. So let's just move that over there. So we're going to have, I think what I'll do, I'll have the growth cycle. I'm going to have growth as, I'm going to go for yellow. Whoa! Okay. Why is that lagging, dude? Growth cycle can be yellow, and then the harvest can be, we'll go for, I'm going to go for, I'll go for like this lilac colour. Harvest time. Okay. So growth cycle, the harvest. Now, I feel like I need to move this just up here because these are kind of interlinked in a way. One handles at the very start of play, and then this one handles the adding to the tick timer basically. So we have our crop, we have it becoming harvestable. Okay. It's quite exciting, this. This is really exciting. Right, so now right, so now what we want to do, we want to say what we want to do is we want the player to be able to click a seed, get a seed, and provided they have a seed, they can spawn one of those. So how would we do this? Left click. I'll tell you what, for the moment we're going to have E. So if they have a seed, yes, we're going to spawn one. We're going to set -1. Right, so if the player has a seed, then we're going to deduct the seed. And then we'll just do a print string just to test that works. Oh, it's gone. Okay, right, well, I know the plant is functioning. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to unplug that because I know that's working. It's just so I can, now I know that's going to grow. When the player presses E, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, that's all working, okay. Okay. Right, so when the player presses E, actually no, should it be F? E would be to harvest the fruit, F would be to think about this. How am I going to do this? I feel like I need to... Oh, it's been a while since I did the thing. Hold on. Right, so if that's true, Hmm. That doesn't seem right. Hmm. uh, why is that? That doesn't look straight. Oh, numpty, I hadn't plugged that in. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's just temporarily undo that, just so I can see the line trace. Okay. Oh, I wonder if this is going to work. No way! Is it going to work? Oh, baby! No way. Dude. I've done it. I have done it. I have done it. We have planted. Now what would be good is if I turn off that and split that. I wonder, impact point is where it spawns, and then if I plugged in the camera rotation to that, Does that mean it's going to be... Oh no. Well, no, we do not want that. Oh dear. Now they're going to grow really strangely. Okay, right, so let's disconnect that. Right, so I think we just want the Z. Uh, let's try that again. Right, so they should now be slightly... No. Okay. Okay. Spawn, pitch, roll. X, Y. Yaw. I thought it would have been the yaw. I'll tell you what, I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to split that. I'm going to get rid of that. And we're just going to see what happens. Testing, guys, testing. Not that one. Let's try the Y. It's definitely not that one. It has to be the Z. Come on, work for me, baby. Oh! Hold on, let's test this. 1, 2, 3. Move sideways. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They should all be different now. Oh, I've done it! Oh, that's amazing. I've done a farming mechanic, guys. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. That's really cool seeing those line traces as well. Oh, dude. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get the player camera manager. I'm just going to put that down here to keep it tidy. Right, so we've literally got a spawning mechanic. We've got provided the player has a seed, they can spawn a plant. So then we just need to do the harvesting of the crop. So the yield amount is 0. So when it's on phase 3, the yield amount is 3. So then we need to have something to say if the player is within a collision box and the harvest is at 3, when they press a button it will remove the crop. Now in some games, thinking of Valheim, when you have the crops, you tend to just click it and then it will what does it do? It just drops all of the stuff on the floor. So I have the option where I can either have it so the player clicks the plant multiple times to harvest the fruit, or I get them to press E or F, sorry. The reason I'm saying F is because at the moment I've got E to spawn a plant. So I'm thinking what we could do is we could say what could we say? We could say drop the fruit, so it would spawn 3 fruit, and then the player would be able to walk over them and pick them up. But I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. What the fudge is going on there? What is going on there? It's jabbing out. So I think I'm going to call it there, guys. 2 hours stream. I can't believe it's taken 2 hours. So we have the seed, and when provided the player has a seed, they can walk around and plant a crop. So, and as you can see, they've got it's a 10-second growth cycle in between stages. But you can see there, guys, like that is fantastic. So I think I'm going to call for a break there. But we've literally created a makeshift plant. So provided the player gets the seed, they can then plant the crop. At the moment, for testing, I've bypassed the limits, because when you plant a crop, it deducts from the seed. So then if you don't have any seed, you can't plant the crop. I could show you that just in here. So if I go back into here, plug that in there, and then that in there, we'll only be able to plant 1 because there's only 1 seed in the game. See? But then what we could do is we could say, okay, when the player's planted the when the player's planted the crop, you know, there could be a chance to maybe get a seed, I don't know. But that works. So I think what I'll do, when I revisit this, I will play around with the option to basically just remove the fruit. So what we'd do, when the player presses a button on the crop when it's got the fruit, we basically we would get the points of those fruits, and then we would basically use those 3 separate vectors, register those in the spawn point for the fruit, and then in the same process we would then destroy those components on the crop, and then after say 5 seconds the plant would die. So I think that's a really cool way of doing it. So I think I'll go take a little break, guys, but when I'm back I will do the final bit for this. But I'm really happy that I've managed to make a makeshift plant, get the growth cycle sorted, and then like place it, which is really awesome. And like I say, it's pretty straightforward, guys. Like, we've got the seed here. When the player walks over a seed, we add the seed, and then this plant here, beginning of the game, we hide the 2 other phases. During the event tick, we're adding to the growth time, and then we're doing the growth cycle and harvest custom events. And the growth cycle just basically handles the visibility of the size of the plant as it grows, and then the harvest time is just provided the yield amount is above 0, they can harvest. So then using that boolean, oh actually we need to have that boolean under the player character, actually, because when this crop gets destroyed, that will get destroyed. Actually, no, we get the no, actually maybe that's okay. No, that's okay. If I had that in player, it would get really messy. Right, I'm going to call it there, guys. Tune back shortly. I will be back to finish this little mechanic off. I'm really happy with this. If you enjoyed it, feel free to give us a follow on Twitch. Don't forget to check out and sub to my YouTube channel. Got lots of game dev there for Unreal and Unity. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next